What is good, Debt Free Mafia? Hey, today I wanted to talk about why I am not focused on repairing your credit. Guys, if you didn't know, my name is Rick. I'm a financial coach and the owner of the Debt Free Mafia. Hey, be sure to subscribe if you dig the debt free vibe. We'd love to have you here. We talk about personal finance, we talk about leaving a legacy, we talk about what we can do to better our money situation. If that's something you relate to, be sure to join us. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. This is kind of the stuff that I enjoy making, and I hope it's valuable to you. If it is, again, please hit the like. It helps me out a whole bunch. Anyways, why do I, as a financial coach, not do any credit repair? That's a really good question. And essentially, it's this. I wholeheartedly believe that the credit reporting system, the credit system in general, was created just so you'd keep borrowing money to keep bankers rich. That's really why it was created. It was a genius idea because the psychological effects of a credit score are immense. I meet a lot of people who think that the higher the number that they are on their credit score, the better they are financially, when in reality, that's not the case. All it means is you're really good at taking money that's not yours and paying it off over time and paying interest and wasting money. I know that that's not cool for a lot of people, but in reality, that's what it comes down to. I was kind of recently thinking about it and kind of reflecting on why so many people desire such a high credit score. Really, it's ability, and it almost has a sense of freedom with it, because they think the higher my credit score, the more my opportunities are, the more freedom I have to do what I want to do, to buy what I want to buy. But the fact is, at the end of the day, you're not buying it, somebody else is, because you can't afford it, right? That's really what it comes down to. So obviously here at the Debt Free Mafia, we're really big in buying things in cash and being the owners of our own kingdom. Obviously, I don't mean that in a fact of having some sort of I'm God complex. What I mean is, I think it's really important to have this sense of freedom where when you own the house that you own, it's your kingdom. Whenever you drive the car that you drive, it's your car, not somebody else's. Nobody can take it from you because you're on top, you've paid it off, or you've paid it in cash. Nobody can take your home because you've paid for it, right? It's your kingdom, right? You're in charge over all of it, right? Nobody else has their hand in that pot, right? So big believer in ownership. I think ownership is just super underrated. We live in this culture now where it's the microwave culture. Everybody wants what they want right now. So what do? They finance it so they can buy it right now, right? So it's really different than the culture just 100 years ago. 100 years ago, it was, if I'm going to buy something, I need to save up for it. When I save up for it, then I buy it, right? So I also think it's really influenced us to make poor poor financial decisions. One of them is auto loans. I'm not a big fan of auto loans, but everybody wants the coolest car and they want it right now, right? Sometimes it's not just about being cool. A lot of the times, with a lot of people, it's about safety. They want the safest car and they want it right now, right? So, and they think that they need to do that to provide for their children or themselves, whatever it might be. So what we do is we end up buying it with somebody else's money and then overpaying for it. That's really what it is. Anytime you finance something, you're overpaying for it. So really, when it comes down to, when I'm as a financial coach, why am I not focused on paying off their credit repair? That's because my whole goal whenever I'm coaching somebody is to buy them peace of mind. That's what differs from me from somebody like Grant Cardone or Rich Dad Poor Dad. Both of those guys are really focused on taking on tons of debt to be able to purchase lots of things that will end up generating them money, which is not always a bad thing. However, they're all about taking on immense amounts of risk, and what my job is as a financial coach is to help mitigate that risk, because I've met so many clients who have called me and they're so stressed out. They don't know how they're ever going to make it. They don't know how they're ever going to have enough money to retire on. They dread going to the mailbox. They dread taking any phone calls that they don't get. And it's not because they're worried about the car warranty guy calling them. It's because they know it's a creditor asking, where the heck is your payment? You owe me money, and being harassed that way. So in reality, what I'm trying to do as a financial coach is buy peace of mind. And chasing a credit score does not buy peace of mind. What it does is it has that psychological effect that the banks want you to have to borrow more money. really, when it comes to the into the mindset there. So let me encourage you there. I'm not trying to beat you up if you're trying to get a high credit score. I'm not trying to beat you up. I'm just trying to say, hey, your perspective is different than mine, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to buy freedom, when in reality, my opinion as a financial coach is freedom is whenever nobody else has a hand in your pot. Nobody has any kind of influence over your decisions, because they don't have any ownership on what you're trying to buy. So let me encourage you, whenever you are trying to purchase something, be okay with taking the long haul. I'm a big believer in finances. Like I said earlier, we're in the microwave culture when it comes to consuming. I would urge you to switch to a slow cooker or a crock pot or whatever you want to call it. Or maybe it's brisket, that takes all night long, rather than just a quick little fry on the grill or whatever. So, I think it's totally worth it. If you've had good brisket, brisket that's cooked low and slow for a long time is the best kind of brisket. So, and I'm the same way when it comes to finances. Nothing happens overnight. Most of the time when I meet with most of my clients, typically the bare minimum I meet with them is 6 months, because it just doesn't happen overnight, right? Finances don't happen overnight. It's something that we are in the long haul for. Even Scripture, the Bible tells us that in coming across a lump sum of money very quickly will be your demise, right? And it's not that case every time, but if you look at the statistical evidence on that, it's very true. Like if you look at anybody who's won the lottery, boy, their life typically tends to go downhill. It's surprising. And I know it's crazy to think, because you're like, no, that wouldn't happen to me. I would spend it smarter. You might, I don't know. However, there's a principle there that I think is very true. So really just kind of rewinding back to the beginning, I don't do credit repair because I'm not worried about your credit. Your credit will take care of yourself once you start eliminating your debt and start handling your finances the smart way. Once you start getting to the point where you're paying cash for things, man, it will really make a big difference for you, because you're going to have a sense of control that you never had before when you were borrowing money for it. I just had some clients today who had paid off their vehicles, and I asked them straight up, do you have a sense of ownership now that you didn't have before you paid for them? And they're like, yeah, we didn't even know that that's something that we thought we'd have, but they did. They had a sense of ownership, and I think that sense of ownership is really important. And I think that it's important to build that kingdom that we talked about, because whatever your goals are, maybe it's taking your family on vacations, maybe it's being wildly generous, which I think is probably one of the best goals you could have. It's so much easier to give money to people when you don't owe money to people. But yeah, guys, I hope that's encouraging. Again, be sure to like and subscribe if you're down with the debt-free vibe. We're all about that here at the Debt Free Mafia. We'd love to have you. My question down below is, how important on a scale of 1 to 10 is your credit score to you? I'm just curious. Give me a reason. You can argue me all you want. I'd love to make some more videos on this. These are just my 2 cents on it as a financial coach, and what I've dealt with and what I've experienced personally, being massively in debt, having derogatory marks on my credit score, things like that. I hope that's helpful. But please, again, let me know in the comments, and subscribe and like if you haven't. It helps me out. It helps other people find this content easier. Guys, you are awesome. Again, thank you so much. Peace.